Here are today's top stories. The government inaugurates the country's first ever eco airport in Bohol. Lawmakers approve the bill increasing taxes on alcohol. Members of the AFP and Philippine Coast Guard start their duty at the Bureau of Customs. And Gilas Pilipinas finish their tune-up games for the upcoming FIBA World Qualifiers.
Good day. I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The government unveils today the Bohol Panglao International Airport, the first ever eco airport in the country. The so-called Green Gateway to the World is one of the Duterte administration's priority projects. Miguel Hill has the story.
It's all systems go for the Panglao International Airport as the government inaugurates today the country's first eco airport. President Rodrigo Duterte was among the guests of honor invited to the launching. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines says the airport, dubbed as the Green Gateway to the World, has green and sustainable structures as part of its massive upgrade. The airport uses solar power, a rainwater collection and storage system, motion sensor lighting, and other green facilities. The airport is landscaped with about 1,700 trees, thousands of shrubs, and 11 hectares of sodding. Over 600,000 seedlings are also being planted to compensate for the trees cut in the airport site. CAAP spokesperson Eric Apolonio says the new airport will replace the Tagbilaran Airport in accommodating the growing volume of tourists in Bohol. The new airport has funding support from the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Apolonio said the construction of the Panglao International Airport started in June 2015 and took some time to materialize, even as the Duterte administration made sure to expedite this. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The military allays fears spread by critics of an impromptu martial law brought by the order to deploy troops to certain provinces. AFP Public Affairs Chief Noel De Toyato says Memorandum Order 32 does not order the suspension of political and civil rights. De Toyato stresses that the memorandum order was triggered by incessant atrocities committed by the New People's Army and its allied groups in the countryside. De Toyato added that the order will allow the military and the police to better counter the threats posed by rebel forces. Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea issued Memorandum Order number 32 to curb lawlessness, particularly in the provinces of Samar, Negros, Oriental and Occidental, and the Bicol region. Some 45 personnel from the Philippine Coast Guard have reported for work at the Bureau of Customs on Monday. Customs Commissioner Ray Leonardo Guerrero says the Coast Guard personnel would be assigned under the enforcement group. They would be detailed at the Port of Manila and the Manila International Container Port. On the other hand, some Armed Forces personnel will also be reporting at the BOC. The soldiers will help customs technicians scan the shipments that pass through the X-ray machines. The deployment follows the directive of President Rodrigo Duterte to deploy additional personnel to the Bureau. The National Press Club asks Congress to amend a law requiring the presence of members of the media during inventories of seized illegal drugs. The NPC stated in a letter their call to amend a section of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, which requires members of the media to be present in anti-drug operations. NPC President Rolando Gonzalo said, with surveillance and body cameras now freely available for use, the presence of newsmen is no longer necessary. He noted that members of the press are placed in danger each time they join the police or the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency in anti-drug operations. For his part, NPC Vice President Paul Gutierrez expressed concern that some drug cases might be dismissed on a technicality for failure of a media member to attend court hearings. The Defense Department says the proposed ROTC is set to teach about human rights, and the Manila International Airport Authority praises an honest travel agent.
The proposed revival of the ROTC program pushed by the government will include human rights training. Defense spokesperson Arsenio Andolong says the new ROTC program will instill respect for human rights as well as patriotism, unlike the previous program that focused solely on military training. The new ROTC program will also use a stricter training regimen. ROTC graduates will be part of the military's reserve force. Meanwhile, the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino is working on the development of a digital archive of Philippine languages. The Commission says it hopes to preserve and make digital data of languages available for reference and use by present and future generations. The KWF was already able to document some 129 languages nationwide so far. In other news, the Manila International Airport Authority recognized a staff member of a travel and tours company inside the Ninoy Aquino International Airport who helped return cash pouch that was accidentally dropped by a Korean passenger. Judith Mertola, a staff of Lucky Jet Travel and Tours, reportedly found the pouch and reported the matter to authorities, who were able to find the Korean and return his pouch as he was about to depart yesterday, November 26. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
Still to come, lawmaker approved the bill increasing taxes on alcohol. A centuries-old church in Samar is declared a national treasure. More on this when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Malacanang released the appointments of former Marine Captain Nicanor Faeldon as Director General of the Bureau of Corrections and Senator Gringo Honasan as the new Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Under the initiative, China Telecom's international submarine telecommunications cable will directly connect the Philippines with Hong Kong and the United States, which uses fiber optics technology to carry signal and digital data by way of a submarine cable stretching across the oceans. Data released by the Department of Budget and Management showed infrastructure spending boosted government expenditures in the first 3 quarters of the year to 2.49 trillion pesos. President Rodrigo Duterte had a fruitful and productive participation at the APEC Summit in Papua New Guinea and the ASEAN Summit in Singapore, where he advanced the Philippines' interests and prioritized the upholding and promotion of its key positions. President Rodrigo Duterte and Chinese President Xi Jinping witnessed the signing of 29 agreements on bilateral cooperation in various areas during the latter's state visit to Manila.
Lawmakers passed on second reading a measure seeking to raise the excise tax on alcohol products. The House of Representatives passed House Bill 8618, which aims to slap higher excise taxes on distilled spirits, wines, and fermented liquors. The bill will significantly curb consumption and increase funding for the government's universal health care program. Under the bill, the current 20% ad valorem tax imposed on distilled spirits shall be increased to 22%. Meanwhile, specific tax rates per proof liter of 30, 35, 40, and 45 pesos shall be imposed from 2019 to 2022. The specific tax rate shall be increased by 7% annually starting 2023. The bill also imposes specific taxes on sparkling wines, still wines, and carbonated wines. For beer, the tax per liter will increase by 2 pesos and 60 centavos in 2019. How can we improve rice efficiency in the country? An expert from the rice industry says the National Food Authority plays a role in maintaining rice supplies and prices. More on this in today's episode of Business Matters.
Welcome to Business Matters. I'm your host, Miguel Hill. With us today is Mr. Henry Limbon-Leong, the chairman of the Food Security Committee of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and also Executive Vice President of the Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. We're going to talk about rice self-sufficiency, or rather, the lack thereof. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Business Matters.
Miguel, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, sir, during the past couple of months, we seem to have had a problem with our rice supply. And that problem with the rice supply apparently translated into higher prices, higher and higher prices, which contributed notably to the inflation surge. So the big question is, why up to this point in our history, our economic history, that we still experience these problems with the rice?
Alam mo, Miguel, I'm glad na I've given this opportunity to explain. Actually, this is a very, very small problem that gone haywire. And this is not any rocket science. No? I have to tell you that over the number of years, the Philippines is almost self-sufficient in rice. Of course, we have to import around 1.5 million metric tons, baka maraming bagyo, whatever, typhoon. And what happened this time is not really the lack of rice, it's really the lack of murang bigas. NFA before, the mandate of NFA during the previous administration is really to make sure that the buying price of palay will not be lower than 17 pesos per kilo. And also that the selling of rice, that there will always be 27 saka 32 pesos ang presyo ng bigas so that the urban poor can really afford to buy the rice. But then what happened, I'll tell you. Before, ang mga rice mill dyan, mga 30 lang sila. And of course, at one time, they've even boast that, pagka isang linggo kami hindi nakdeliver ng bigas sa Manila, magugutom mga Manileño. Can you imagine that? That's really the Ngayon,
That's the attitude.
Before, itong 30 rice mill na yan, baka during harvest season, they'll start buying palay, di ba? From 16, 17, 18, pag medyo mataas ang presyo ng palay, suddenly, sabi nila, marami na tayong stock sa bodega. Can you imagine they will stop buying, di ba? When they stop buying, the price of palay will drop, di ba? To 17, to 16, to 15, hanggang 14 pesos pa nga. That's where NFA would come in to buy the palay at 17 pesos, di ba? Para hindi malugi mga magsasaka.
Pinipilahan yung NFA rice ngayon sa palengke, nakikita natin.
Kaya nga. Kaya it's a small problem Sana during that time, they should really import Import rice. Pag import rice yan, okay na yan Pero as far as we are concerned, there are enough rice in the market. Kaya lang, walang murang bigas.
Okay. Sir, may nagsasabi na meron daw cartel na kumukontrola, nagmamanipula, siguro yun ang better term, dito sa supply ng bigas.
Alam mo ngayon, the reason why NFA should exist, actually, I don't agree abolishing the NFA. NFA there is just to stabilize yung presyo. NFA is the only institution that is mandated to buy high and sell low. You cannot ask the trader, pumili ka ng mahal tapos benta ka ng lugi
Yes.
Hindi pwede yun. Pero NFA can do it. Kasi gobyerno ito Kaya that's precisely the mandate of NFA. Kapag nandyan ng NFA, mga cartel, wala yun Kasi how can they be cartel if NFA can release price at di ba?
So NFA neutralizes
they really neutralizes. Pag lumabas yan yung cartel, hindi sila makano dyan, they will lower the price. Wala na cartel yun. That's really that's very simple, Kaya kasi there are people who would like to abolish the NFA, blah, blah, blah. Pag-abolish ng NFA, you will leave it to the private sector. Baka yun, makaroon na palang cartel, di ba, in the future.
Okay. Sir, our population is growing, pero our real estate, the arable lands, is not. Diba? Ano ang magagawa natin para yung ating output, the agricultural output, o yung efficiencies na pagtatanim, maitaas?
Actually, Miguel, that's the reason how come I became the chairman for the Committee for Food Security, because I have a company called SL Agritech. And I think we're the pioneer in producing hybrid rices for the farmers. In hybrid, ano bang hybrid? Di ba? Mga ordinary inbred, pag isang hektarya, siguro you can only produce 4 or 5 tons per hectare. Pero ito, pakulit yun. Nung unang generation, abot ng 5 tons, 6 tons. Pangalawa, pangatlo, pababa na rin yan. Di ba? Actually, mga inbred, kahit na 3 or 4 seasons, you have to change it also. Ito naman, hybrid naman, you can go more than 10 tons per hectare. Bakit? Even as high as 17 tons per hectare. Kaya the only way for us to do is to really go hybrid. Ngayon, Miguel, we have around 4 million hectares of rice land in the Philippines as compared to Thailand, which has more than 10 million hectares. As compared to Vietnam, which has around 8.5 to 9.5 million hectares. As compared to Indonesia, 12 million hectares. Kaya ito, we have the least number of hectares for producing rice. And yet our population is more than 100 million na. Kaya the only way for us to do is to increase the yield per hectare. Now, over the number of years, we have only around 400,000+ hectares planted to 500,000, less than 500,000. Do you know the average right now is 4.2 tons to 4.3 tons per hectare na? Ngayon, sinasabi ko nga, I think at one time I was even telling the President that if we have only 1 million hectares out of 4 million hectares planted to hybrid, we will be self-sufficient. If we can reach an average yield of more than 5.5 tons per hectare, safe na tayo, we will be self-sufficient. More than 1 million hectares planted to hybrid, we will even be a rice exporter.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sige, Miguel, anytime.
Okay, join us again next time as we tackle yet another issue in the next episode of Business Matters. Good day.
Authorities locate 3 children who go missing in Bataan, and the Department of Education holds a fundraiser to get Wi-Fi. Maricor Zapata has this report.
3 elementary pupils who went missing in Limay, Bataan last Friday have been found alive and well. The 3 grade 4 students of Carbon Elementary School in Limay reportedly got lost at the foot of the mountain. The children were found Sunday by operatives of the Limay Municipal Police Station, together with local officials in Sitio Araja. Meanwhile, the Ilocos Norte Schools Division Office launched the 15-foot tall Christmas tree para sa ICT. The agency is hoping to raise 1.5 million pesos to put up 3 Wi-Fi internet towers for teachers and learners in the province. Employees and visitors can purchase Christmas accessories which serve as their donations for the project. In Samar, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines unveiled the marker of the centuries-old Saints Peter and Paul Cathedral in Calbayog City. This means the church is now treated as a national treasure protected by the government. The Calbayog Cathedral is called the mother of all dioceses in Eastern Visayas, being the first cathedral to be established in the Samar and Leyte areas. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
Up next, the House approves on third and final reading the anti-wiretapping bill. And Gilas Pilipinas finishes their tune-up games for the upcoming FIBA World Qualifiers. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Industry Authority, through the Shipyard Regulation Service or SRS, bared its 10-year shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking programs at the second National Shipyard Convention held in Cebu City on November 15 to 16, 2018. The convention served as a communication node between shipyard stakeholders and the government in shaping the future of the shipyard industry. Marina SRS Director Engineer Ramon Hernandez expressed his appreciation to the Shipyard Association of the Philippines or the SHAP for its support to the Marina's shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking initiatives under the 10-year Maritime Industry Development Program, or the MIDP.
The shipbuilding and ship repair will go a long way. I mean, there's a lot of projects and opportunities for them, not only in shipbuilding but also in ship repair, considering that we'll be promoting the Philippines as the global maritime hub, you know, in Asia and in the world.
Cebu is next to Manila, or at least parallel with Manila in terms of shipping. So, and shipyards, they are our partners in achieving, the safety, compliance, to have a better shipping, for a better future as far as I am concerned.
Meanwhile, SHAP Chairman Beneleo Carlos III recognized the Marina's efforts to collaborate with maritime stakeholders, especially in drafting policies and formulating programs to address existing challenges in the industry.
The 10-year program, it's a great horizon. It allows you to forecast and then implement new changes. Marina's been immense help and guidance to us in terms of bringing our concerns together and making them present to the government. Certainly, we have to do our part. It's time for us to be able to offer back to them, this is the information you're asking for.
In the convention, SHAP members presented their priority agenda and concerns on shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking industries to cope up with the new Memorandum Circular of the Marina regarding the registration and licensing of the shipyards, including the afloat ship repairs in the Philippines. The convention also served as an avenue for clarification on some of the issues on ISO certification, including the identification of marina-recognized organizations that will do the certification for the shipyards.
Ang regulating ng marina ay napakaganda para sa mga shipyard talaga. Pinakamagandang commit dyan yung mga association. Ang number one dyan, kailangan magkaisa. To be united. Kailangan magtulong-tulong kung ano mga ideas nila na para ang ating shipbuilding dito sa atin ay lumago ng gusto.
The marina right now, the way it's being run, we believe has the right direction, but it just has to be polished a little bit more. They have our full support. Yeah. We are going to commit to the safety and standards that Marina wants to see. Right now, we can do it.
The Marina assured its full commitment to efficiently regulate the shipbuilding and ship repair sectors relative to the production and the construction of quality ships, especially now that the regulation requires the members to be ISO certified and guaranteed to be supportive of the ship retirement and replacement program of the Marina's domestic shipping service.
The House of Representatives on Monday approved on third and final reading a bill which seeks to amend Republic Act 4200, or the Anti-Wiretapping Act. The chamber unanimously passed House Bill 8378, which aims to enhance crime detection and investigation of organized and syndicated crimes. The bill seeks to allow law enforcers to intercept private communication involving coup d'etat, robbery in band, syndicated illegal recruitment, illegal drugs, graft and corruption, and money laundering. It prohibits telecom entities to retain data for more than 1 year, except those that are subjects of pending cases. The bill also prohibits and penalizes wiretapping and other related violations of the privacy of communication. The law exempts from penalty wiretapping in cases involving offenses against national security, such as treason, espionage, rebellion, sedition, and inciting or conspiracy to commit these crimes. In our foreign news, South Korea's Kim Jong-yang has been elected as new chief of global police organization Interpol. The vice president of Interpol will become the first South Korean to head the global police body. Kim replaces Meng Hongwei, who allegedly resigned in October after his detention and disappearance on corruption charges. Kim to serve as president of Interpol for the remainder of Meng's term until November 2020. Interpol, or the International Criminal Police Organization, is a consultative body to facilitate international police cooperation in global crimes, terrorism, and disasters. In sports, Gilas Pilipinas has finished their tune-up games with Lebanon and Jordan in preparation for the fifth window of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Lebanon won over Gilas twice in a row, capping their tune-up series with a 71-60 win on Sunday. 2 nights before, they survived a late Gilas run to take a 74-68 win. Meanwhile, Gilas fell short to Jordan 98-92 on their first match a week earlier. Their rematch ended in a tussle caused by a heated argument during a hard foul, and the Jordanians left the game as soon as everyone was pacified. Gilas was ahead 82-73 when the game was called off. The national team finished with a 1-win, 3-loss record in their tune-up action. The children of Marawi City were among the most affected by the months-long siege. Now we can know more about the stories of these survivors, which are presented to us in storybook form. Maricor Zapata has this report.
The lessons of the Marawi siege will forever be etched in the hearts of every survivor. Now more than ever is the time to teach these lessons to the younger generation. The Philippine Business for Social Progress, together with the Bookmark Incorporated, developed 4 children's storybooks based on the experiences of survivors of the 2017 Marawi conflict. The books have been made more age-appropriate for children. In celebration of the National Reading Month, the Marawi Storybook Series was launched at the Ramon Magsaysay Center in Malate, Manila. Dubbed as I Read Peace, the event aims to raise awareness on the present situation of the children in Marawi. Ana Maria Tandelfin, General Manager of Bookmark, said the stories reflected the true feelings of the survivors straight from the point of view of the survivors themselves. She said, PBSP wanted to help the children of Marawi not only to cope but to adjust to their new lives after the siege. PBSP Executive Director Reynaldo Antonio Laguda, meanwhile, says through these storybooks, they hope to not only build a culture of reading, but also help these young survivors rebuild their lives. The stories will also shape the continuing dialogue on peace and development in Mindanao. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories.
The government inaugurates the country's first ever eco-airport in Bohol. Lawmakers approve the bill increasing taxes on alcohol. Members of the AFP and Philippine Coast Guard start their duty at the Bureau of Customs. And Gilas Pilipinas finish their tune-up games for the upcoming FIBA World Qualifiers.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And it is 28 days to go before Christmas. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.